past year, we've been documenting a lot of our runs in Hamilton and Toronto, and this time I'm going to do a few voiceovers as we run around the bay in Hamilton, Ontario, and share a little bit of history of the city as I'm running. Well, we're headed to the Around the Bay race, 129 years in the Hamilton, Ontario. And we try to do this every year. We're not always prepared since it's our own city, and it's a pretty famous race. People come from all over. We run from downtown Hamilton east and head to the lake, and then we go all the way around the Hamilton/Burlington Bay to eventually hit York Street Boulevard, and then we finish at Cops Coliseum. Oops, sorry, First Ontario Place. I'll never stop calling it Cops. It's actually a pretty beautiful day out, although it's a bit chilly, and I don't know if the sound's picking it up, but it's still pretty windy. You feel that breeze? So it's just hard to determine what to wear. I have layers right now, but we'll see. So it's 30 kilometers. It should take probably around 3 or more hours for me. Haven't been upping any kind of training in the last little bit, just running my normal run, but I think it should be fine. So yeah, I'll take you on our journey. So before we get started, I want to share some fun facts. The Around the Bay race was established in 1894, and it's considered the oldest road race in North America, even 3 years older than the Boston Marathon. It has had several interruptions over many years, including during the First World War. In 1962, I believe, there was some construction which canceled it. And of course, most recently in 2020 and 2021, it was canceled for the COVID-19 pandemic. Whoa. This is one large lineup. The race was also closed to women for 85 years until Tursila Comac. She ran it in 1975. She just showed up without a registration. Well, the energy here at the start line is just extremely inspiring. So eventually, in 1979, women were also included. You know, all skill sets, all ages, beautiful day. The race has also been expanded from the 30K route to providing 5 kilometers, as well as there's relays, 2 relays of 15 or a 2 times 15 and a 3-person relay of 10. That was in 2004. It's also been concluding inside the First Ontario Centre, once known as Cops Coliseum, which is a really fun finish line, and I can't wait to show you that. It's not really just about the race, though. It's a huge part of Hamilton's history. We get to see a lot of Hamilton go through different neighborhoods. The industrial section is also quite interesting. And there's all sorts of iconic legends as part of the race, including the Grim Reaper, which we will see along the way on York Street towards the very end. So I look forward to seeing you all throughout the race, and at the very end, we'll celebrate, hopefully, a successful finish. Well, here we are, just beginning, heading down James Street North, the ever so popular street known for the art crawl in Hamilton and the super crawl. Probably the second time in the entire year they actually closed the street down. So here we are on James Street North in Hamilton, Ontario. It holds a special place in my heart. I've seen and witnessed and embraced the changing times. Today it stands as a lively arts and culture and culinary hub. Each corner, each building, each storefront tells a story, a blend of old and new that captures the city's past and evolving future. One of my favorite spots has to be the Mulberry Cafe. I remember when this bustling cafe was just a modest laundromat, symbolizing the transformation, at least some of it, that the street has undergone. And there have been unfortunate goodbyes. Recently, we've all said goodbye to the St. Hollywood. It closed its doors. And I'm sure many of us will remember the many evenings spent there. The Leuna Station, it was once a bustling railway station. I myself caught trains there to Toronto, attending school in my 20s. But it's morphed into a vibrant banquet center. It's been a popular movie location for shooting. For example, one I remember watching was the X-Men several years ago. So as I walk down and reminisce about the past and marveling at the present, I realize the beauty of James Street North lies within resilience, its ability to adapt and grow while still cherishing some of its history. And welcome to the North End of Hamilton, a neighborhood vibrant with history and pulsating with evolving identity. It's nestled along the shores of our Hamilton Harbor and Burlington Bay and has witnessed substantial transformation, all while, in my opinion, preserving a unique charm. And for those of us, like myself, who live here, there's a deep sense of pride and love for this enduring, evolving corner of our city. The North End Hamilton is a testament to progress, a celebration of heritage, and it truly is a welcoming neighborhood. Come and see for yourself. So here's the bay. We're gonna run around and growing up in Hamilton, Ontario, the transformation of the city, particularly the waterfront area, has been nothing short of astonishing. From my childhood in the North End to raising my own children here, this place has been my home, my playground, my sanctuary. Hamilton's waterfront, once a quiet, underutilized area, has become a vibrant and inviting space. As a kid, I would roam these areas with abandon, and now these trails have become paved and equipped with bike and scooter share programs, offering convenient and enjoyable. So this area here that that's on film right now is Pier 8. And soon to be Pier 8 condo development. Ways to explore the waterfront for everyone. The opening of the pathway connecting the North End to Westdale in the summer of 2000 was significant for everyone in our community. The development brought accessibility and vibrancy to the waterfront that was never seen before. And here we are, passing out the naval base. As we run along Burlington Street, I can't help but take in the rich tapestry of Hamilton's industrious spirit that will surround us. The street is home of a myriad of companies, each with a story to tell, adding to their unique character to the city's landscape. They hit stop so soon, but we did have to use these porta potties. You know, Brad's using them, so I'm going ahead. He'll catch up. But oh, it felt good. Can't this washroom. What a beautiful day. So we're at 4K and we're at, what street are we at? Wentworth. So we have 26 more kilometers to go. Last time I ran a race like this was the Toronto Marathon. I did not do well. Walked the last 5K, had wicked stomach cramps, and was only post day 3 of having COVID. So hopefully I feel better after this one. We just passed Bungie, a massive canola processing plant, And even in this industrial corridor, it reminds me of the far-reaching influence of agriculture in our economy. I picture the journey of canola seeds from the vast prairies to our plates, processing right here in Hamilton. And the memory of an oil factory from my own childhood comes to mind. Unfortunately, it was the smell. Thankfully, it's more manageable these days, a welcome change for us living in the North End. Of course, steel, the heart and soul of Hamilton's industry and where we got our nickname, the Steel City, is represented by two giants, ArcelorMittal, Dofasco, and Stelco. I'll talk about this a little later when we pass by.
Maybe even more. They changed this route from heading straight down Wilson all the way, what's it, to Eastport? Yeah, much better route, very residential and lots of fanfare and, you know, participation amongst the non-runners. This time, now then they moved it, we go over overpasses, which means hills. So it's not really, you can't compare your times, put it that way. New hills. This is the first one. It's like North Shore at the beginning. We'll be getting lots of hills in North Shore Boulevard too.
Running along Burlington Street is more than just a run. It's a passage through Hamilton's industrious history. It's a canvas of diverse industries that have shaped and continue to shape our city. It isn't a bad part of the run. It helps us learn about what made Hamilton.
Okay, we're at Burlington and Ottawa. It's the first water station, I guess, here.
So momentarily, we're going to be passing by ArcelorMittal, Dofasco, and Stelco. I'll talk a little bit about Stelco, which is a name synonymous with the steel industry in Canada. Founded in 1910 and quickly became a cornerstone of Hamilton's identity. At its zenith in the late 1970s, Stelco was a thriving hub and employed almost 25,000 people, many which were related to me, my friends, my family. It was more than just a bustling factory. It was a lifehood of our community, weaving together a tapestry of shared histories. However, the story of Stelco isn't just one of prosperity and productivity, because in the late 1980s, the global steel industry was in flux. Overseas competitions was fierce, and cheaper steel imports began to saturate the market. Stelco was forced into a challenging period of restructuring, and there were many job losses, which were inevitable. And in 1989, it was the first wave of layoffs that were hit hard, one that our family felt.
The wind is currently at our back, so not only are we going down a little hill, but we're being pushed down this little hill. Just pretty sweet, but we're gonna pay for it later, aren't we? Hi, bro.
The 80s marked a turning point for Stelco and brought seismic changes into the lives of its workforce, including my own family.
You can actually see the bridge we're going to be down in about 10 kilometers.
The struggles of Stelco had significant implications for the labor movement and unions as the company underwent bankruptcy protection twice, 2014, 2017, and unionized workers were at the forefront fighting to preserve their rights and their jobs amidst this uncertainty and adversity. Today, Stelco has undergone ownership of, bedrock industries since 2017. It has a workforce of about 2,000, a fraction of what it once was. And looking ahead, we know there's uncertainty when it comes to any of these industry futures, the Stelco's future. It continues to evolve. It's shaped by technological advancements, global economic pressures, and of course, environmental considerations. But for a family like ours, we will remain connected to Stelco's past, to the invested in and to what it means for the future. The resilience we have witnessed, the stories we carry will continue to shape our understanding of the iconic industry.
Here we are at the 10K marker. And this is where people who are doing relays will switch over to a next person. And it's where there's also another hill.
So here we go. We're going to approach Hamilton's beach neighborhood, a huge history, fascinating and deeply reflective of the transformations that have shaped the character of not just Hamilton, but Southern Ontario.
So beyond there, here's Lake Ontario. And we're now on the east side of the bay. Ish. Can't see it, but it's over there. Whew. We're feeling the wind now.
So stories have it that Hamilton's beach was a bustling destination for families and sun seekers and pleasure seekers from across everywhere in the region. There was a warm, sandy beaches. You can just imagine people looking to escape the humdrum routine of the city life during these hot summers. There was dances, apparently, and people would rent out water equipment for fun day at the, in quotes, lake. Dances were hosted. There was even a beach museum park. It had an iconic Ferris wheel and so on. However, as the years went on, the wheels progressed to turn, and the increased industrial revolution along the waterfront led to drastic transformations of the neighborhood. There were huge hydro towers erected in the 20th century, with the stark profiles contrasting sharply against this idyllic landscape. The looming structures came to represent a new era of progress and economic development. You won't miss them if you ever come down to this area. The economy shifted from a tourism-based model to more of an industrial residential focused. Amusement park closed, pavilion hosted fewer dances, and so on. In the face of transformation, the residents of Hamilton's Beach did prove resilient. There's still a great neighborhood. Even with some of these negative changes, efforts are still made to restore and maintain the beach and the neighborhood. And you can see that just from, watching and being part of this race, and how much the neighbors and the community get involved. The trail was introduced. There's a pathway that winds along the shore, providing residents, visitors, a beautiful path to enjoy.
This is the spot for the 15K relay people to switch. Got the buses.
There's a beautiful beach that you can still swim in. The water is quite clean. It's just really cold. You can still see children playing along, and building sandcastles along the edge. It's still a very beautiful place. And even though the beach's neighborhood stands as a testament to that balance between progress and preservation, and a place where these giant hydropowers will share the skyline, it's still a beautiful waterfront and a beautiful landscape. Okay, here we are at the lift bridge in Burlington and the Hamilton Canal. It carries a rich history, a legacy stretching back over 100 years, and its origins trace back to the late 19th century, built as an integral part of Hamilton Canal system. The canal was conceived as a lifeline for trade and transportation, playing a crucial role in Canada's Industrial Revolution, linking the city of Hamilton with other regional hubs in the Great Lakes and beyond. The lift bridge, it's a brilliant feat of engineering, and it's designed to balance the needs of both waterway and road traffic. Its unique lift mechanisms allow the bridge deck to be raised and lowered, allowing tall ships to pass underneath while preserving a steady route for vehicles and pedestrians at other times. And over the decades, we've seen countless ships from commercial freighters to private vessels and safely pass beneath its imposing structure.
Toronto, 57 kilometers. Let's just do it. Hey, what do you think?
So here we are about to enter North Shore Boulevard, one of Burlington's most iconic streets that traces a rich and layered history, intertwines with the enduring legacy of the city itself, and it's borne witness to Burlington's transformation from a humble agricultural town in the 19th century to a vibrant industrial hub of the 20th, and finally into a bustling modern city in the 21st century. But of course, one of North Shore Boulevard's most defining characteristics is the location around the Around the Bay race route, which date back to 1894. The event recognizes the oldest long-distance road race in North America, and it's seen countless athletes ascend these North Shore Boulevard hills. The landscape has become a test of endurance, a rite of passage for those participating, and echoing with the footfall of generations of runners, that determination echoing through these decades. The history of North Shore Boulevard is tinged with a note of wistfulness, its prime location straddling the shore of Lake Ontario. Over time, the private residents have slowly obscured these beautiful views, unfortunately, and the expansive horizon is now hidden behind the walls of fences of many of these private properties, denying public of the enjoyment of this vista that we once saw. Although I have to say, it's a beautiful place to run and explore, and the residents are gracious and helpful and so supportive always. So, from Grindstone Marsh, a treasure nestled between Hamilton and Burlington, run by Royal Botanical Gardens, we are now headed up Heartbreak Hill. This is a pretty iconic feature of the Around the Bay race in Hamilton. It's reminiscent of the infamous Heartbreak Hill in the Boston Marathon, a challenge for runners over a century, marking a moment of sort of personal triumph. It's just 2 kilometers from the finish line, from the top of this hill. It's definitely more of a hill. It's sort of a symbol of human resilience. I watched a runner a few years ago, mid-climb, adjusting a prosthetic leg. Definitely a humbling experience. It sort of inspired me, a very powerful reminder of our capacity to overcome and rise above challenges that we all face. In recent years, it's transformed into a quiet, vibrant space. It used to have vehicles running down. Now it's pedestrian only. It's no longer the path for cars, just people, and you feel it. You feel the difference when you just want to come down and enjoy the peacefulness. The trains do come by once in a while, but even that is fun to watch, especially the GO trains coming from Toronto. So stand up top of the Heartbreak, look down at Hamilton, and take a moment to reflect on the history and think of these countless runners who battled this incline, of the triumph, of the trials, and of the strength they have, demonstrated just by getting to the top of this amazing hill. So we've made it to York Street, and we have about 3 kilometers, not 2. We are seeing the Royal Botanical Gardens on our right. We call it the RBG, and it's the jewel in the heart of Hamilton. It isn't just a lush haven. It's Canada's largest botanical garden, spanning almost 2,700 acres. It's amazing. As we run past, we can kind of glimpse the trails on the right, side. They're the south and the north shores of the RBG. There's actually more than 20 or 30 kilometers, perhaps even more, of trails crisscrossing the RBG, reaching every nook and cranny. They're distributed among 4 main areas, including the iconic Coots Paradise, which you see on the right, North Shore and South Shore trails. I often run these trails. My favorite place to run in Hamilton. It's a great cardio, but it's also just a beautiful journey through a diverse ecosystems, an adventure. It's a marvel, and it doesn't just stop there. They're all part of an network of trails, from the waterfront, the Bruce Trail, some of the rail trails. So as I approach my run and I see the RBG to my right, I just can't help appreciate all the connected trails and the nature that Hamilton has to offer. It's a testament, really, to the bigger picture of Hamilton. It isn't just the steel industry that we saw earlier, but there's so much more to Hamilton. So we're approaching the final stretch of the Around the Bay, and my mind wanders to the history of the path beneath my feet right now. I'm running through a neighborhood known to many as York Street, right here in Hamilton. Its present appearance, however, tells a different story from its rich past. In the days before the whirlwind of redevelopment in the 1970s, York Street was actually a vibrant tapestry of residential life and local commerce. It was once home to many different distinctive old homes. It had a huge character. One of them was actually my own family home, which I'm too young to remember, but my mom shared these stories with me.
Be one of the best parts. It's all downhill, 1 more kilometer to go. You can see first the finish line.
The narrow, lively streets gave way to these wider roads that we see here, making room for more cars, more traffic. Of course, a rapid pace of life that contrasts sharply with perhaps what the neighborhood's past looked like. And as I run this final stretch, I can't help but think about the transformation journey of York Street, but of all of Hamilton that I've shared with you today, that I've shared and I've reflected on, the quaint charm of many of the neighborhoods, the industrial parts of our city and what it has meant to all of us. The past might be gone and it's replaced by other things, by innovation, by technology, by our concern for environment. But it's important to look at this rich history and see what resonates with all of us. Each stride I take, it's not just a step towards this finish line, which I'm almost there, but it's a tribute to the resilient spirit of all of our enduring neighborhoods, of Hamilton itself, of the Hamilton people, in which we all love.
Okay, here we go, it's the finish line.
Well done, well done. Go, Roger.
And you get to see me all emotional again. Well, we finished. I would say this is probably the 8th for me of the Around the Bay Hamilton, and for Brad. Say hi, Brad.
Hi.
That would be
Sure, 10 or
maybe
12.
10 or 12.
It's definitely 10 at least.
It's at least 10. Anyway, it was a very, very beautiful day. Lots of people out and about enjoying the run. Lots of participants on the sidelines playing music. Those steel drums were my favorite, eh, Brad? I got a good shot of that.
Yeah.
But overall, I have no complaints. It was well run. Thank you to all the volunteers, all the people handing out water and electrolytes, and all the people keeping us safe on the streets. Thank you to the police for helping to slow traffic down. It was a great day.